Coming up on today's show, the Porsche Taycan finally gets its production reveal, along with its high-end price tag. REMatz showcases the arduous and expensive process of crash testing its upcoming C2 supercar, and Volkswagen pairs up with E-Classics to offer conversions of classic Beetles with E-Up hearts. These stories and more coming next. Welcome to September. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it means autumn is finally on the way. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it means the cold will soon be gone. Either way, I'm here with the latest in cleaner, greener, safer and smarter news, and I'm here to stay. Before we get going, a little shout out to the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's show. Find out how you can accelerate the electrification of transportation today at electricauto.org. The Porsche Taycan is finally here. Revealed earlier this week, the high-end luxury four-door sports sedan will be offered in two different variants at launch, the Taycan Turbo and Taycan Turbo S, and it looks to be a very nicely appointed high-end ride. Turbo, in this case, is a holdover from Porsche's internal combustion engine cars and is supposed to give Porsche faithful an idea of performance, which isn't too shabby. Although, as many Tesla faithful have been pointing out, it doesn't beat Tesla. But as I've pointed out in my long detailed video on this car and its launch, it's not designed to cross-shop, and those who insist it is are missing the point. The Taycan and its six-figure price tag are in a completely different market. The Mercedes-Benz EQC has received a 5-star crash test rating from Euro NCAP, managing a 96% rating in adult occupant tests and 90% in child occupant tests, which is actually higher than the Tesla Model 3 in the same tests. Unlike other SUVs, it doesn't do too badly in its vulnerable road user tests either, scoring a 75% score, which is higher than many other SUVs on the market, as well as a 75% on its safety assistance features. Since the launch of the Taycan this week, lots of people have been criticising the use of the name Turbo by Porsche in an electric vehicle. Among them, Elon Musk, who took to Twitter this week to make his own digs at the luxury German brand. And at the same time, Musk promised that he'd been sending a Tesla around the Nürburgring in Germany to set its own record time, a move clearly prompted by Porsche's four-door electric sedan record, the one I reported on last week. Musk's promised that this record attempt will happen in the next week. Crash testing is a necessary part of any car's journey into the marketplace, and hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent by automakers to prove their cars meet all of the required criteria. And this week, REMatz, I really hope I've got the pronunciation right this time, shared in a video the arduous process that it's been undertaking to ensure its REMatz C2 hypercar can be sold around the world. It doesn't have the budget of larger companies, but it wants to make sure its cars can be sold worldwide. It's an interesting thing to watch, but painful too. Lately, we've seen a number of automakers jump onto the EV myth-dispelling bandwagon. This week, Ford became the latest company to join in. It's just launched a series of videos dispelling common EV myths, like you can't drive them in winter, using its Mustang-inspired crossover SUV as one of the vehicles it's used to do the myth-busting. It's the first time we've seen this vehicle in the wild, and while it is covered in camouflage, it looks to be progressing through its testing very nicely. With all the drama surrounding Boris and Brexit, don't even get me started, car sales in the UK haven't been all that high of late. But for one brand, Tesla, UK car sales haven't been bad at all. According to the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, the Tesla Model 3 became the third best-selling car in the UK in August, selling 2,082 examples. As Tesla is currently working through its backlog of Model 3 reservations in the UK, it's no surprise that sales are doing well, even though general auto sales aren't. Volkswagen's ID.R race car has been busy setting records again, this time becoming the first electric car to tackle the famous Heaven's Gate Road on Tiananmen Mountain in China. The time, 7 minutes and 38.5 seconds. You might remember from a year or so ago, Jaguar Land Rover sent a Range Rover plug-in hybrid up the same road from the bottom to the top. Unlike that attempt, in which the Range Rover climbed all the stairs to the top, the ID focused on just the road up to the stairs. And I've got to say, the ID.R's attempt was damned fast. Earlier this summer, Ford controversially showcased its prototype F-150 electric pickup truck, towing £1 million of pickup trucks and rail cars. But whatever your opinion, Ford confirmed to Autocar this week that the electric pickup it says it's building, which will be based off that prototype, will come to market before 2022. It's a vague statement that could mean late 2021, but it's good to see mainstream electric pickups on the way to the market. Ahead of next week's official reveal of the ID.3 electric hatchback, Volkswagen has officially lowered the price of its e-Golf, knocking about 8% off the price of the 35.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack version. At the same time, it's announced its refreshed e-Up City car, also with a much larger 32.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack than its predecessor, will start from €22,000 on the road. This repricing suggests that the ID.3 will stay true to its price promises, but we'll know more about it next week. The US National Transportation Safety Board has completed its report into an accident last year in which a Tesla Model S ran into the back of a fire truck in California. The agency reports that while the fire truck was parked and had its emergency lights on, the driver did not notice the vehicle was stopped in front of him because he was focusing on eating at the time and not driving. It states that his inattention and over-reliance on autopilot and his ignoring guidance and warnings from Tesla was the cause of the crash. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Autopilot is not yet hands-off, fully autonomous. Just don't do it. And now it's time for short shorts. The rebranded Smart EQ for 2 and EQ for 4 got their official Smart EQ production debut planned for next week. Each gets a series of design tweaks and more powerful 60 kilowatt electric motor, but 159 kilometers of range per charge. Tesla has posted a job listing for a manufacturing technician in cell manufacturing in Fremont, California. This suggests that it's moving forward with its own plans to develop its own battery cell designs in-house. It also appears to be setting up a new R&D facility in Colorado. Seat's luxury sub-brand Cupra has revealed images of a brand new concept SUV that it will be showcasing at the Frankfurt Motor Show. Based off the Volkswagen MEB platform, Seat is owned by the Volkswagen Group, it hints a Cupra SUV EV is most definitely on the way. An insurance industry executive working with Tesla on its insurance products confirmed this week that Tesla plans to use driver data to help it price insurance packages. With access to all of its cars' logs, those who take more risks in their cars will end up paying more for their insurance. What Car has completed its latest survey into vehicle reliability in the UK. It says that electric and hybrid vehicles have the highest average reliability of any car type on the road, at 96.1%. However, there are some outliers. The Renault Zoe only has a poor rating, with 44% of owners reporting faults. The number of applications for purchase subsidies for Model 3 customers in Germany has fallen yet again, suggesting a slowdown in sales. As with most countries, August is a slow month for car sales in Germany, so it will be interesting to see what happens in future months. Volkswagen says its retooled production line for the ID.3 will start series production of the new hatchback in November this year. Right now, the facility is busy churning out pre-series production vehicles and has so far made 400 ID.3s on the line. Porsche has increased its shareholding in REMatz this week to 15.5%. This is something I'm sure will not only help REMatz but also help Porsche with some of its own technology. As some of you noted this week, REMatz has a 2-speed gearbox in its C2, and so too does the Porsche Taycan. A while back now, Ford, Volkswagen, BMW and Honda stuck 2 fingers up at the proposed EPA rollbacks of vehicle fuel economy and agreed on a deal with California. Now the DOJ is coming after the same for allegedly violating antitrust laws, for trying to agree to higher fuel efficiency standards. Something smells off. The Dutch government is earmarking €5 million to support the building of 422 two-way smart charging stations across the nation. It's all part of a drive to bring V2G to the mainstream marketplace and simultaneously clean up the carbon footprint of the electricity grid. A very unique Chevrolet Bolt EV has gone on sale in Canada on auction site eBay. With 2.27 kilowatts of solar panels all over its body, it's said to be the first solar Bolt EV ever. But the design aesthetic may put some people off. Faraday Future has a new CEO in the form of former Byton co-founder Carsten Brightfield. He now assumes the role as the head of the company, but the former CEO YT Jia is still at the company as Chief Product and User Officer and is still first on the company's About page. A European NGO is calling on the European Union to modify legislation on electric vehicle charging to accelerate the deployment of smart charging infrastructure that's easy and seamless to use, connected and accessible. The idea, I think, is to eliminate all closed charging networks. Opel has detailed the charging specifications for its upcoming Corsa E, with 11 kilowatts of onboard three-phase charging for the high-end models and 7.4 kilowatts for lower-end models. Opel says all Opel E models will be also able to fast charge at up to 100 kilowatts from compatible CCS quick charging stations. China has officially jumped onto the fuel cell train, earmarking massive incentives for fuel cell vehicle customers and promising that it will have 1 million fuel cell vehicles on the roads of the nation by 2030. In doing so, it aims to leapfrog Japan and US in fuel cell vehicle adoption rates. Los Angeles air taxi company Quantum Air has confirmed a large order of By Aerospace's eFlyer 2 and 4-seat aircrafts. It says it wants to become the first electric air taxi service in LA. There's no details on the delivery date for the 24 planes. Tesla and Electrify America both deserve some pats on the back this week after good citizen actions, making electric car charging free for those trying to evacuate from the path of Hurricane Dorian. Both companies turned off charging for those who needed to escape the storm so they could just fill up and move on. Well done. And those are your short shorts. There will be more next week. As I noted earlier in this show, the longer-range Volkswagen e-up will launch next week in Frankfurt, but alongside it will be another vehicle using the e-up's new drivetrain and battery tech. Enter the Volkswagen e-Beetle, a classic bug converted by E-Classics in collaboration with Volkswagen. Unlike most conversions of vehicles that you see on the market, this uses off-the-shelf, brand-new parts sanctioned by Volkswagen and actually increases load bay space into the bargain. There's no news on pricing, but I want this very badly. Volkswagen says it's working on a similar product for the Volkswagen microbus. And finally, giant signs beside the road advertising the cost of petrol and diesel are a common sight in the modern age. But so far nobody seems to have done anything similar for electric vehicle charging pricing. That is until McDonald's decided to do just that at all of its stores across Sweden. Taking the gas station model, it's using its famous golden arches to install digital signs showing the price of filling up at its rapid charging stations, plus the price of two of its most popular meals. Now, if only they could add an Impossible Burger or maybe a Beyond Patty to that menu, we'd be all set. And on that note, it's the end of this week's show. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to help us make more videos like this and all of the other ones we've been producing, please do like, comment and subscribe. Send us a couple of dollars our way every month through Patreon, buy us a coffee with Ko-fi, or visit our merch store and buy some of our swag. Thanks too to the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's news roundup. They've been advocating and educating the world about electric vehicles since 1967. And the Electric Auto Association believes that the future depends on us all going electric today. Why not find out how to become an EV educator for yourself, discover a local monthly meetup, or just talk to real-world EV owners about what it's like to drive on electrons by going to electricauto.org. We are members of the EAA and we're proud to support this fantastic non-profit. I've kept this quiet, but I'm actually driving to LA next week to receive a 2019 Drive Electric Award from Plug-in America. So most of the videos I'm going to be doing next week will be pre-recorded, I'm guessing. But with any luck, I'll be back at the end of the week with this News Roundup show. And thanks to those who voted and nominated for me in the awards. I'm really honoured and touched to be getting this. Thank you. Until then, behave yourselves and don't forget to be better, smarter and kinder with one another. Keep evolving.